Good afternoon. This is Mayor Turner. I just wanted to give you the daily update of what's going on right now. Let me start out with the numbers. Right now, there are 587 in Amarillo. There's 504 in Lubbock. Abilene has 255. San Angelo has 44. Wichita Falls has 63. Midland has 74. El Paso has 829, and as of right now in Odessa or in Ector County, we have 81. We still just have 4 people that have passed away, which is still good news. And currently we have 36 that have recovered. Like we said before they can say they're recovered, they have to be actually well for 10 whole days. So from the hospitals, it's really good news there. Medical Center only has 3 cases of coronavirus. They have 5 under investigation. Over at ORMC, they have no patients in the hospital right now with coronavirus, and they have 8 results that are waiting for results to come back. Wanted to give you kind of an idea of where the rest of the state is when they talk about coronavirus. Just some of the bigger cities. Dallas right now is at 3,105 cases. Fort Worth is at 2,019. San Antonio is very low at 1,275. And Houston, of course, it's a huge city, has 5,827 cases of coronavirus. One of the doctors today in the press conference that we have at 3 o'clock with Medical Center, he really brought up something that we're all going to have to think about moving forward now that the governor has opened up the state. In Amarillo, they have 587 cases. 1 out of every 6 people they test in Amarillo is positive. They've had some trouble with some of the meat packing plants up there because once it gets in an enclosed area like that, it can spread. But just to tell you how good of a job the people of Ector County have done, 1 out of every 17 people tested in Ector County is positive for coronavirus. That's amazing. The fact that in Amarillo it's 1 out of 6, and here it's 1 out of 17. And that's something that really everyone should be very proud that they've done a great job of slowing the spread here. Let's get to what the governor talked about yesterday. The governor had a press conference and put out some documents to start to open up the state. So I want to go over those, but let me explain how it's going to be measured. Any building that's a commercial building has a certificate of occupancy. That's one of the final documents you get after maybe a retail store is built. It will tell you how many people can actually go in that building. If you're a business owner or if you are an employee somewhere and you need to know how to figure out the 25% that are allowed to be in your building, now that the governor has opened up some businesses, you can either go to your certificate of occupancy. It's usually where your sales tax certificate is and things like that. If you do not have one, you can call the city of Odessa. It's the building services. And that number is 335-3214. And you can give them your address and say, I need to get a copy of my certificate of occupancy. And they can fax that over to you. They can probably email it over to you. But that number again is 335-3214. So to get, kind of let you know what the governor opened up, I'm just going to read it and go over it section by section. So starting Friday, May 1st at 12:01 a.m., retail stores can start to open up again. There will be some we'll talk about here in just a little bit that cannot open, but most stores are going to be able to open up. It is 25%. So if your certificate of occupancy says 100, you can have 25 people in there, and that has to include the employees of the store. So some like Walmart or Sam's and those, those numbers are going to be a lot bigger. So retail can, dine-in restaurant service. All your restaurants can open up and you can actually eat inside the restaurant. Now, what they are asking is that there are 6 foot between tables. For example, if say you go in one of my Subways, we will have every other booth marked off so that there is enough space in between, say, booths. Many of your sit-down restaurants will probably have less tables right now because they have to space them out. They can't just be as close as they've been. So dine-in restaurants are open, movie theaters are open, but again, it's going to have to be spaced out. So I'm sure they will work on that to make sure some seats are not able to be sat in, so that they can go ahead and open those up. Shopping malls are now open, or will be open on Friday. So the mall in Odessa will open up. Museums and libraries are open. So those will be opened. And it does also talk about counties that have had very little coronavirus. That is not us. It's less than 5 cases, so we're over those cases. Also, golf courses are going to open up, but there will be limits on how many people can be in carts and how many people can play together. So I'll be going over those probably more in the next day or so, just so you will understand. It also talks about local governments can open up more services, because like I remember I told you, as this started, we actually went to a minimum staff at City Hall just to make sure that everyone there was part of the essential services we provide you as a citizen. Streets, water, trash, police, fire, all of those. And so now we are going to start bringing that back up. At City Hall, we will be wearing masks, and we will limit how many people can come into the building. So in the past, you may see 8 or 9 people there to pay their water bill. We're going to limit that to 3. So there's other ways you can pay your water bill. You can go through the drive-through window, or you can go to the little kiosk and do it that way. So there will be still some limits on certain things. Everything won't look like it was back before coronavirus. Coronavirus is still here, and we have to continue to be careful. So if you're working in an office, make sure you're spaced out far enough so that you won't get coronavirus if, say, a coworker has it. And there's also some things that the governor talked about that are not going to be allowed. And let me flip to that, and I will tell you things such as bars. Any bar is not actually able to be open unless they get over 51% of their revenues from selling food. Great example would say maybe Chili's, maybe Logan's Roadhouse, something like that. Their bar will be open because they sell more food than they sell alcohol. So those bars will be open. Gyms, workout places will not be open. They are telling us in a couple of weeks that those will be opening back up as long as the numbers stay down. Public swimming pools are not open. Interactive amusement venues such as bowling alleys and video arcades. One question I've already had is, what about Synergy? Synergy at this point is not opening back up because they have movie theaters, but they also have bowling, and they also have a video arcade. So at this point, they are not opening up, but just watch. I'm sure they'll issue a press release when they decide they are going to open up. So massage establishments cannot open up. Tattoo studios cannot open up. Piercing studios and cosmetology salons, which means barbershops and hairstylists. From what the governor said, it's leaning me to believe that those will be open in 2 weeks. These all, honestly, I think part of this was The people that got to open up had the best lobbies in Austin, and they probably lobbied to get open. And so there's going to be another announcement in 2 weeks to basically go ahead and start opening some other parts of the economy to go to 50%. So I saw somebody says churches. Yes, churches are going to be opened. They are going to have to space out. I'm going to go over churches tomorrow. I'm actually have a meeting with the pastors in the morning to discuss what's going on with churches. I just saw game rooms. Somebody asked, game rooms are still closed. So let me continue on the next subject and talk about, now that we're moving forward, it is very, very, very important that we continue to do the steps that we've talked about. Wash your hands, don't touch your face. Things like make sure you're spaced out. If somebody has fever, cough, they're losing their taste is another one. They throw up and things like that. Those people like that need to be home, especially if they have fever. As we are moving forward, we are actually voting tonight to increase the capacity of our child care facilities. When all this started, we had to kind of limit it to 10 kids in a room. So now we are lifting that so that they can take in more children to make sure that people can take their kids back to child care so that they can go back to the work. As far as masks, we are going to strongly recommend that everyone wear a mask. This kind of gets into politics when you say you're not going to be able to do something or you're going to be able to do something. At this point, we're going to make it a recommendation. The only reason we would say it would become mandatory is if the numbers keep getting higher and higher and higher very quickly, because the governor is opening up the community. He really does not give us a lot of flexibility. And so that is one of the few things we can say, you need to wear it. And some people will say, well, I don't need to wear a mask. Well, if you're wearing a mask and you don't know you have coronavirus and you cough, the people around you can get sick. So wearing a mask, one, helps protect yourself, but two, helps protect others. And there are going to be people out there that say, well, I don't need to wear one. If they don't, they can end up with coronavirus. For those that have anything like diabetes, cancer treatment, are on dialysis, have asthma, and over the age of 65, they're still strongly recommending that they stay home because more people means more sick people can be out there, and some of those people, unfortunately, do not have the immune systems to fight off something as contagious as coronavirus. So I want to wrap up talking a little bit about the food bank. The food bank usually does about 500,000 pounds of food a month. This month, they've done over 722,000 pounds of food to take care of people. We've really been hit twice here, really. You had the coronavirus, but you also had lower oil prices. So people have lost their jobs, and because of the food bank, because of the amazing job that Libby does over there and all of her staff have really gone above and beyond to take care of the West Texans that are in need. I got an email from her earlier today and say they will go over 800,000 pounds of food this next month is what they're expecting. So just looking at how much work it is to get the food off the trucks, put it into boxes, get the boxes to them, we really need to thank them. And if you see any of them, or if you feel like you need to donate to somebody, the food bank is a great charity to donate to, because they are truly doing God's work, taking care of everyone. So tomorrow I will go into a little bit more detail on some of the other things in this, but basically Most stores are going to be open. Some will decide, some of the bigger restaurants may say, well, we may not be able to make it at just 25%. And so they will hold off, but that will be an individual restaurant by restaurant decision. So please continue to do the things you need to do to make sure we're not getting coronavirus. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Social distance. And if anyone's sick, please keep them at home. And if they need to, they can go get tested. Tomorrow, the drive-through testing will open up. That is by appointment only. You can look it up, and there's the phone number you need to call. You'll end up talking to Texas Tech here in Odessa, and they will go over your symptoms and tell you whether you need to be tested or not, and then you can go out there and get tested. So God bless each and every one of you. God bless Odessa. God bless Texas, and God bless the USA. Thank you very much, and be safe.